Hello, my friends. Today we're learning Bobe Basra Daf Lamed Ches. We're going to start Lamed Ches on the basic Gemara. Start 3 lines up. Eichi domi mecha. So we want to know. We've been discussing all the time about mecha, chazaka. Someone has 3 years and the owner didn't do a mecha. It's a proof that his taina that he bought a field or he got out a present. So, but if the owner does a mecha, the morikama, so it's not chazaka. So we want to know, what does a mecha mean? Omar Zvid, if someone says about a field they used to own, Plania, this guy, Gazlano, he's a Gazlan. That's not enough to say that guy is a Gazlan. But if he says, Plania Gazlani, who do not kill Aryeh Begazlanusa, if he says, hey, Reuven the Gazlan, he stole my land, I'm going to take him to Besdin tomorrow, that is a mecha. Omar, if he told the people who did mecha in front of them, Loi Temurlei, don't tell Reuven that he's doing a mecha about, don't tell him what I'm telling you. What's the din? Omar Zvid Hoka Omar Loi Temurlei. Rav Zvid holds, he said to these people who did mecha in front of them, don't tell him. So therefore they won't tell him, and therefore it's no mecha, because the whole idea that he will hear about Reuven and then he'll keep his star safe. Rav Papa Omar, no. He said, don't tell him, but tell other people. And we said already a few times, your friend has a friend, but your friend of your friend, also has a friend, and therefore he's going to hear about it at the end. So it is good mecha. So the arguers said it's not good mecha. Or Papa said it is a good mecha. Another case, Amrulay, after he told them, well, Reuven stole my field, and I'm going to take him to Besdin, and they said, we're not going to tell this to Reuven, are you crazy? I'm scared of Reuven, or whatever it is. So Rav Zvid says, here Rav Zvid holds, like what he held before, that it's not good mecha, because he said, no, we're not going to say, so Reuven's not going to hear about it. And they said, we're not going to tell Reuven, to Shimon and Levi, etc. And so he's going to hear about it at the end. So again, we had the machlokes of Rav Papa or Zvid, is a good mecha or not? Third case, he told them about the mecha, and he told them, so don't. What does Leitefuk lechushuta mean? This shouldn't come out from your mouth. He didn't say don't tell Reuven or don't tell that person. He said this should not come out of your mouth. I'm doing a mecha. Reuven stole my field, but don't tell anyone. See here, Omar Zvid Hakama Leitefuk lechushuta. Like we said before, Zvid holds for sure. It's even worse. For sure, it's not a mecha because you're not going to say anything. And Rav Papa over here in this case does not argue. He agrees. Amrulay, if they said after he told them we're not going to tell a word about what you told us about this machal to anyone. They said we're not going to say anything, and even here our Papa himself says and he agrees that you don't say chavra the chavra Yislay because they're not going to tell anyone. Ravuna Brady Rav Shoma, he argues about the last case. Omar Kol Misa de Ramye Alei Inish, something that's not secret for himself. It's not that he cares that people are going to know about it. Omar Lo Veloyadate, he's going to spill it out at one point, even though that they said we're not going to say anything. It's not their secret. So therefore, they're going to say it at one point, and Chavra the Chavra Yislay, and therefore the owner is going to hear about it, the one who's machzik, and therefore it is considered a good mechal. So let's say 4 different cases. The first case, he told them not to tell. Second case, they said they're not going to tell. The third case, he told them don't tell anyone. And the fourth case, they said we're not going to tell anyone. Case number 1 and number 2, Rav Papa and Rav Zvid argue. Case number 3 and 4, Papa and Rav Zvid agree. But case number 4, we have here Rabbi Yeshua, Rav Huna, the son of Rabbi Yeshua, who says that it's still considered a chazaka. Omar Rav Nachman, you don't need to do the mecha in front of the machzik. We had this sugi already before, and now we're going to go into it again. Rav Nachman, Rav asked the question of Rav Nachman, Omar Rav Yudah, now Mishnah, lo yomru shalosh shanim, the reason why there's chesika shalosh shanim, ela kedei sheyeh b'aspamya, if he's a year away in a place called Aspamya, v'yachzik shona, and the person is machzik in his field a year in Eretz Yisrael, v'yelchu v'yodu shona, and in the second year that it takes to come to Aspamya, that's when the Shayoris are going to go and tell him in Aspamya about it, that someone's holding his field, and he'll come in the third year and do a mecha. You don't need to do it before. Why should he travel a year to do a mecha? On his place. Over there. Why does he need to come here? So the Gemara, no, that's not kasha. Really, mecha shel b'fanav ava mecha, and the person could stay in Aspami and do a mecha. So why did our Mishnah say to go back? Eitza toiva kumashmalon. It's telling you a good eitza. The mishkoil arrow peri. Someone sitting in your land, go get it back, and the parasite owes you. So the Gemara, midikamosively Rover of Nachman, since Rav Nachman said mecha shel b'fanav ava mecha, and Rav asked the kasha michlal lechuretz mashma the lo yisvirulei the mecha shel b'fanav ava mecha. He doesn't agree with that. How did that make sense? He said it is a mecha. So the Gemara Teretz, Bosa the Shomam Rav Nachman Savra, and Ochinami. At the beginning, he never held of it, and he had the kasha on Rav Nachman saying it, and then after Rav Nachman said it and had the good Teretz to his kasha, he said, "Oh, you're right, mecha shelo b'fanav ava mecha." So the Gemara, Ashkechini Rabbi Yosi b'Rab Chanina leTalmidov Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yosi b'Rab Chanina met the Talmid of Rabbi Yochanan. Amalu, he asked them, "Mi Omar Rabbi Yochanan? Did Rabbi Yochanan say mecha b'kamo? How much?" When a person does a mecha in front of how many people do you need to make it a mecha? 1 person, 2, 3, 10, how many? So they had a machlokes in Dibur Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yochanan b'chol b'fnei shnayim. It's enough 2 people. Rabbi Avo, Rabbi Yochanan b'chol b'fnei shloisha. You need 3 people. Tell the Gemara, what's the shorish machlokes? Leima, let's say the Rabba bar Avuna kamiflegi. The machlokes is in the din of Rabba bar Avuna. What's the din of Rabba bar Avuna? The Omar Rabba bar Avuna kol mil sadem is amr ba'apei klosa. Anything that was said already in front of 3 people, less b'mishum lishne bishna. There's no lashon hara. It's not considered lashon hara to say it because it's already famous. Because once he told it 3 people, it's going to spread around. So said the Gemara, man da'oma b'fnei shnayim that you need in front 2. Let's say the Rabba bar Avuna. It doesn't hold of this din that's famous now. Man da'oma b'fnei gimel isle the Rabba bar Avuna. So he holds that 3 it's not lishne bishna anymore, and therefore you need to say mecha in front of 3 that everyone's going to know about it. Telling more loy, the kul alma isle the Rabba bar Avuna. We could fit everyone if the shit that shalosh doesn't. There's no more lishne bishna. This is this is a machlokes. Man da'oma b'fnei shnayim. The shit of the whole that mecha in front 2 is enough. Kosova mecha shelo b'fanav lo yavi mecha. You need a mecha in front of him, and therefore if you do it in front of him, the other 2 are there only to be Eidim. So Eidim for sure it's 2. You did the mecha the best way. You told the guy himself. All you need is Eidim. Man da'oma b'fnei gimel kosova mecha shelo b'fanav ave mecha. You don't need to do it in front of him. See, and therefore, if you don't need to do it in front of him, the whole dinner. How does he hear about it? Because it gets spread. How does it get spread? Then you need 3. So the Gemara Ibo is saying, you could explain this a different way. The machlokes between them, the kula alma, everyone agree mecha shelo b'fanav ave mecha. Everyone agree that mecha shelo b'fanav it is called a mecha. So why is the machlokes? V'hacha ba'akom iflige. This is a machlokes. Man da'oma b'fnei pei is a shita who hold that's good to say enough to say in front 2 people a mecha. Sava sadusa behinan. All you need is the eidus. I did a mecha. Man da'oma b'fnei gimel. The shita who holds you need 3. He holds kosova gilu milsa behinan. The dinner mecha that it should be famous. Everyone knows that this person did a mecha. To make something famous, you need to tell it to 3 people. It's not enough 2 people. Says the Gemara. Gidel bar Minyumi abale mechiyusel imchuye. He had a mecha to make Gidel bar the son of Minyumi on the land that someone was holding, and he held he's a ganef. Ashkechinu Rav Huna, he met Rav Huna, Ulechir bar Abba, Rav Chilkir bar Tuvi, the 3 Amiroim, and let's remember the middle one, Lechir bar Abba, the Aviyas, Mochakamai, they were sitting, and he made them a chor in front of them. He said, this land belongs to me, he's a Gazlin, and I'm going to kick him out, and I'm going to take him to Bezdin. Leshana, the next year, Oda Osalim Chuye, he came in front of them again to do a mecha. Omurlei, so all these 3 Amiroim told him together, Lo tzriches, you don't need to do a mecha again. This is the words of Rav. Once he did mecha once, you don't need to make a mecha ever again. The story went a little bit different. That the only difference is who said the din of Rav. That wasn't all 3 of them who said the din of Rav. But Rav, he said this. He said himself that once he did a mecha 1 year, you don't need to make a mecha again. So I think the difference is, did Rav say it, or Rav said it? and therefore you don't need to come back again. Omar Shlokish Mishum Bar Krapro. Shlokish said in the name of Bar Krapro, Tzorech Limchoit V'Soif Gimel V'Gimel, and you need to do a mecha at the end of every 3 years. That means even though that after the first year you don't have to make the third year, every end of 3 years you have to make a mecha. Torber Bar Yochanan will think he was saying, what did Bar Kapra say? I don't understand this. This guy is a Gazlin. He stole a land. Why do I have to do a mecha every 3 years? Does he suddenly have a mecha if I don't do a mecha again after 1 year? That's it, I did the mecha, he's a Gazlin. I'm not the Gemara straight away asks, Gazlin sal kedai toch? Is he this guy Gazlin? We don't know why is Rabbi Yochanan calling him a Gazlin? He's saying Gazlin, maybe it's really his and he really bought it, the person who went in. How do we believe Shimon who's doing a mecha, maybe really Reuven? Why are you calling him a Gazlin? Elo ke Gazlin. The kasha Rabbi Yochanan was ke Gazlin. He's like a Gazlin. That's what Shimon's teinering. Why should I have to do a mecha every 3 years? Yesh ke Gazlin yesh lo chazaka. So the Gemara doesn't answer about this kasha, and the Gemara says, Omar Rava ilchas avalocha is tzorach limchois b'soif kol gimel v'gimel. Every 3 years you need to do a mecha at the end, like Rabbi Yochanan. Tony Bar Kapra, sorry, not like Rabbi Yochanan. You need to do every 3 years, like Bar Kapra, not like Rabbi Yochanan. Tony Bar Kapra said another thing. Someone did a mecha. He said, oh, this Reuven who's living in my land is a Gazdin, I'm going to take him to Bezdin, etc. And Chozav Ira, and he did a few times he came, he did the mecha. And now Imach Mastainer is showing the Ira, it's the second time and the third time he said the same tinus like the first time. So the Chazaka, it doesn't count because he's saying the same time, it's like the guy stole it off me, okay, so he doesn't have a Chazaka until he can prove it with a star. If he changed, and the first time he said Reuven the Gazlan, the second time he said, oh, he came to him by Mashkunta the Surah, that's why he has it. The third time he said, oh, I rented it to him, every time a different taina. Yeshlo Chazaka, because he cancels his other tainas, and this taina also gets cancelled because he's a chakran, and therefore we don't believe him, and he is out. His chazakas are not considered, his mecha is not considered mecha, and the chazaka is a good mecha, even though they did mecha a few times, but since he changed his words every time. Everyone should have a blessed Shabbos, and should be having Yeshua's Toivus, Eretz Yisrael, and the whole Jewish world in a bad state, and we need tefillos, and we need to get close to Hashem, and believe in Hashem, and connect to Him. Good Shabbos.